Well, hello everyone. This is going to be a short video on how to use a TI-84 to calculate the various statistics that you're going to be asked to do in Chapter 3, in particular the mean, standard deviation, median and interquartile range. You're going to find it very laborious to do most of these by hand, so this is very useful and I hope you'll find so too. This is an emulator program, and there's another video that you can watch that tells you how you can actually get this on a 90-day free trial, and if you like it you can keep it, just pay the license fee. So let's begin. So let's suppose that you have a question where there's a set of data and you've been asked to calculate various statistics. So the first thing you do is you hit this button over here, it says Start. So I click on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to enter the data into the calculator so it can perform all its calculations. So option 1 under menu edit, which are the default settings, so you hit enter. Now you notice at the bottom here they have a list of the buttons, so if you missed anything you can look at these and see what I typed. So typically you put all your data into L1. I think it's very useful if you just keep L1 and not make life too awkward by using any of the other columns. But if you move these, what I'll call cursors, to the left or right or up or down, they can move around, so be a bit careful about that. So make sure you're here, and let's suppose you type in your data, so it's 98 and 65 and some other digits. Okay, let's suppose that's our data. And we're looking at this data and we realise that we've made some mistakes. Well, the nice thing, a nice feature about this calculator is that it allows you to edit things without having to reset the whole thing and start from scratch. So let's suppose that one of the mistakes I made was that there are 2 3s, well there's 3 but there's only meant to be 2. So I move the cursor up to say that one there. And then I can hit this button over here called delete, and it's gone. Let's suppose that 45 was a mistake. Let's suppose that 45 should have been 54. Well, scroll down to the 45, type in essentially over the top of it the 54 and it's fixed. Let's suppose that I looked at the data and I said, oh wait a minute, I forgot there was a number at the end, 93. We'll just type it in and enter. So you can see that you can put your data in, you can amend it, change it, alter it, delete it. You can get it till it's perfect. So let's suppose this is now perfect data. I want to calculate my statistics, like my standard deviation, for instance. So how do we get the calculator to do that? Well, you go over to this menu here called Stat. See it there? Stat. Hit that. And we're back to the menu we were at the start. Edit. But now we're going to move over to this one called Calc. So I'll move over to Calc, and now I'll hit enter. Oh, by the way, Calc and number 1 variable stats. That's the option we want. And since it's the default, I can just hit enter right away. Now this fella here says L1, which you should, and these things are pretty much left blank. Let's just pretend for a minute that it says L2. Well, you need to make it L1. So what you would do is you hit the blue button, number 1, and it's now L1. If it is L1, just leave it alone and just don't touch it for the rest of this week. So list L1, enter, enter, and then one more enter. Now what you're looking at here is the statistics, the output screen. So let's tell you what the guys were looking for. This fella here, X bar, is the mean. It's the little bar at the top, X bar. That's the mean. It's about 48.7. I wouldn't worry about these two. I can't see any reason to use them. This fella here is the standard deviation of the data. X is used for the data, so X bar is the data mean. This is the standard deviation of the data, and it's about 39.6. And this one here we won't worry about because most of the time we won't use it. This one tells you that there are 7 numbers. Now the little flashing cursor here, because there's more data on the next screen, so as I hit this up button, do you see we can now see the minimum number is 3, Q1, called the first quartile, there's the median, 54, Q3, the third quartile, and finally the max. These 5 numbers here, these last 5 numbers are called the 5-figure summary, and these are the numbers that you would use if you wanted to create a box plot. Well, the median is easy, it's 54. The interquartile range isn't that hard to get. The formula for the interquartile range, IQR, is Q3 take away Q1. So that guy take away that guy, and the answer is 90. So we can see here that all the statistics that you want are on a single page, and really a very handy thing. So if you have a TI-84 physical one, you can use it right away. If you don't have access to one, I suggest strongly you make sure that if you haven't already done so, that you go to the first video and find out how to download this emulator that does the job just as well. So thank you for listening, and